What a moment. You know, the little guy won today. The little guy won. Little guy won.
Wow. Yeah, you did it.
And I think about Ruben Diaz Jr. And how we talked about as little boys, one in the Bronx, one in Brooklyn. We hopped on those little dirty mattresses because we didn't have anywhere to go. They were in the burnt out lots. And we just wanted one day to do something that would impact our city. And so now we stand here in the most important city, in the most important country on the globe. What a moment, New York. What a moment. And so we know that this is going to be layers. This is the first early voting count. We know that. We know there's going to be 2s and 3s and 4s. We know that. But there's something else we know.
Take your time.
That New York City said our first choice is Eric Adams. It was during the first debate, Ingrid, when I walked to the studio, I said, is this a campaign or a code? The energy of the people.
Come on, brother.
They said that we feel something. And you have to understand the moment that I'm just going to savor this moment. And this moment is so important.
Yes.
And so we're going to allow them to go through the process and count the ballots and count all the ranking. And we know that this is an opportunity for people to participate. But the feeling today is just such a good feeling. And I just want to take a moment to just talk about the senior, more seasoned reporters in the city. Because there's a different level of reporters in the city. You have the senior and seasoned reporters. And they know me. They've watched me for years. And they said from time to time that, Eric, not only did you put your career on the line, you put your life on the line.
Yes.
And you couldn't do what you did, Eric, for fame and fortune. You could only do it for families.
It's true.
And my advice to the younger reporters, understand that Twitter is not academic research. And what some candidates misunderstood is that social media does not pick a candidate. People on Social Security picks a candidate. And so you could have lot of likes on social media, but you need a lot of votes on Social Security. One reporter stated that Eric he just refused to look at what's on Twitter. Because I don't care what people tweet. I care about the people I meet on the street. Take it with our passion and deep love for the city.
Mr. Mayor,
that's right. When you have worn a bulletproof vest for 22 years and stood on street corners and watched babies wake up to gunshots and not alarm clocks, when you watch mothers teach their children the drills of how to duck, when you sat in living rooms and speak to mothers like Justin Mom and watch the pain, when you were in the Bronx, when Ruben and I sat down with that family where they watched their 2 babies being shot at, and that little boy would not leave the lap of his dad. And it was one thing if it was just an insignificant or one incident that took place. This is the normality in far too many communities. And how dare those with their philosophical and intellectual theorizing in their classroom mindset talking about the theory of policing. You don't know this. I know this. I want to keep my city safe. I know this. Campaign. They're ordinary people. I started out with this conversation. I'm a blue collar candidate. Blue collar candidate. The domestic workers, the cab drivers, the messengers, the people when COVID hit this city. We divided the city into essential and non-essential workers. Absolutely. Look at the ethnic demographic of those we consider to be essential. Yes. Black, brown, and immigrants. Yes. Drove your Uber Eats. Yep. Filled your stores. Yes. Went inside to schools and were a food service worker, TA employees, yes. Hospital personnel. Yes. Then we had the audacity when COVID hit here, we said we're not even going to give you face masks. We're not going to give you the PPEs. We had nurses wearing garbage bags to protect themselves. In this city. Think about what we did. And we only communicated in English. We forgot about Urdu and Chinese and Korean and the other languages where people had to give basic information. The audacity for us to leave people behind. This is the city that I saw. And so this coalition that we built, black, white, brown, Asian, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, we put together this amazing coalition, Italian, Russian speaking, all of these different groups, Irish. They called me, they said he's the United Nations candidate. For the people of this globe, LGBTQ, all these different groups, bringing this city city together. We don't need a divider.
No.
We need a unifier. And you know what? They are me. And I am them. That's what connected. When people saw me, they saw their brother, their sister, their spouse, their uncle, their aunt.
Yes.
They just saw this ordinary person. I have the ability to bear the weight of the city, but I'm also someone you don't mind having a beer with. So tonight, all of us, we are on the precipice of gaining the keys to the prosperity of our city. We are here. And I'm saying to you, brothers and sisters, I know what it's like to be forsaken by the city you love, to feel betrayed by the promise. And I said it the other day, and I'll say it again. Our mom transitioned in March. Mommy loved us so much. And my siblings, you know, were really sometimes disturbed because she loved us all, but she adored me. But she was betrayed. She was betrayed like so many other mothers and fathers and families. She was betrayed when we could not have the ability to purchase food, and we went to get food from the city, and it was food that fed to chronic diseases, the processed meat and the cheese filled with salt and the powdered eggs. She was betrayed when she had to work 3 jobs to provide for her 6 children, even in her arthritic state. She was betrayed when she walked to the precinct to get my brother and me after being abused by police officers, and they treated her in a degrading place. They looked at her and laughed at her clothing and her cane that she leaned on. She was betrayed when she was unable to get the basic services from our city agencies. We've had a system of betrayal. She was betrayed when her baby had a learning disability and no one diagnosed it and gave him the opportunity to provide. If you don't educate, you will incarcerate. And that is what we're doing in this city. And that's why David Banks is on the stage with us today. Because we're going to stop that betrayal. So today, I had a significant moment. As a child, Mommy took me into the voting booth in 1977. She took my hand and she placed it on the name of Percy Sutton. And she says, baby, this is the future. And today, when I walked in that polling booth, and I took my son's hand and I placed it on his dad's name. And I said, son, this is the future. And so her death, her transition from the physical to the spiritual. She said in her way, as I sat inside that hospital room, I heard that heart monitor, and her heart stopped beating. And I sat there with her alone. And it was her way of saying, baby, I took you as far as I could physically. For the rest of this journey, you're going to be fighting against some unknowns, and I need to transition to a spiritual place. I need to join you at another level. And every moment of this campaign since March, when it was difficult, and when people did mean things, all I could hear in my ears was, baby, you got this. Baby, you got this. And I'm saying to you, New York, you got this. So brothers and sisters, the race is not over, but the movement is here. New Yorkers said that there's more we know Eric, the more we like Eric. So my journey started on the floor of the 103rd precinct when I was beaten. And now I'm going to become the mayor of the city of New York. And so like all of you, I learned to turn my pain into purpose. I grew my mind and my body and became stronger. I sought out justice. My journey led me to join civil rights movements, and those leaders gave me my mission. Go inside and fight on the behalf of the people of the city of New York. Those civil rights leaders inspired me, and I'm continuing this journey today. They said change from the inside. Don't remain outside. Merely throwing a rock is not a plan. I want to encourage you young black men and women in this city. If black lives really matter, it can't only be against police abuse. It has to be against the violence that's ripping apart our community and carving a highway of death for young people. Black Lives Matter to make sure we get poisonous and toxic foods out of our schools so our babies don't have early signs of childhood obesity and diabetes. Black Lives Matter when we go into our senior centers and lift up our seniors who made it possible for us to be here today. Black Lives Matter when you go into a polling place and pull and write the level of the person who's going to represent you. Let's be honest about ensuring Black Lives Matter. And let's make sure it matters all across those areas that are impacting us every day. And so the mission of these civil rights leaders gave me this simple charge. And I'm going to live that charge every day. Find the hope and the opportunity in this city. And that is what we must do. This is what government is for. Government is not about betrayal. It's about helping people become. And so as a city, we're going to turn our pain into purpose. We're going to become a safe, affordable, fair city. And let's be clear on this. We're not going to have parks where people are injecting themselves with drugs and our babies can't go to play. We're not going to have a city where we're going to have anti and hatred towards our Asian brothers and sisters and LGBTQ and those who are part of the transgender community. We're not going to have anti-Semitism where young people like Joseph are stomped and kicked right in Times Square. It's not the city we're going to live in. This is New York. We show the entire globe how to live and how to live together. And we're going to raise healthy children and families. So my friends, this is our mission, this is our purpose. And tonight, we have been chosen by our neighbors to lead this city. But we have one more important task. If we're going to be entrusted with the future of this city, we must unite. We know that ex-president ripped apart our country. I'm not concerned about who he was. I'm concerned about what we have become. It's time for us to put his chapter behind us and rewrite our chapter of how we live together. We are members of the greatest race alive, and that's the human race. And let's start acting like that. To move forward, we must recognize what we just accomplished together. During COVID-19, I saw the best of us. I saw my Chinese community get hundreds of thousands of PPEs and take it to NYCHA developments to give it out to residents. And so everyday people feed and come together to help those who are in need. And that is what we're going to have to do. I saw people in Bay Ridge, in Brownsville, South Jamaica, Queens, South Bronx, all coming together and say, how do we navigate COVID together? If we can beat the pandemic of a virus, we can beat the pandemic of a violence in our community. Let's come together to do so. So together we will work. Our strength is in our diversity. It is in one another. New Yorkers may be fiercely independent, self-reliant, formidable people by nature, but we are unbeatable when we are together. Yes. That is the spirit and energy that I want to bring. Brothers and sisters, I'm ready to find out what this city can do when everyone has the opportunity not just to survive, but to thrive. And everyone shares the same common purpose. Tonight we took a huge step forward, and we would not be here without the amazing dedication and hard work of so many. First, I want to thank our tireless volunteers. They coined themselves the A-Team, Team Adams. Man, they work so hard. It brings tears to my eyes to see the commitment and work that they did. You did not just make the campaign run, you inspired me every day of my life. Also want to thank the people, and you know who you are, who stuck by my side through thick and thin. You are my family, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And finally, I want to thank some key supporters that gave us the momentum and the strength we need to get this campaign over the top. Man, oh man, oh man. I don't know if Rich is here from HCC. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I sat down with Rich, expecting him to break the bad news and tell me HCC was not going to be with me. And I said, Rich, listen, just let it be a Band-Aid and rip it off. Don't torture me. And Rich said, what are you talking about? My member said, we can't be with any other candidate but you. Thank you. And 32 BJ. Kyle Flash. Kyle, unbelievable. And Candace, and where's Henry? Henry from DC 37. My brother Henry, largest. You need to be up front. Henry and that whole team in Local 371 and just Michelle and Anthony, unbelievable groups who were here. TWU, Tony and the whole crew for being here. Jack and my good friend George from the Uniform Fire Officers Association took the leap of faith. Unbelievable. CSEA, Unite Here, PEP, and just so many others. And then my electeds. We started out, people said, well, you know what, Eric doesn't have any electeds who are coming on board. And I said, you just wait and see. Then came the amazing Lori Combo. Unbelievable. Brother Denise was unbelievable. Just held it down in Southeast Queens. We started to build the momentum in a team. Ruben Diaz Jr. came on board. When you do the analysis and you look at the numbers from the Bronx, Ruben said to me, he said, I could only promise you one thing. I'm going to bring you the Bronx. And so to the VX, I love you. And my brother Queensboro President Donovan Riches, Congressman, first Dominican Congressman Adriano Espaillat, And my brother from another mother, Tom Swazi. And the great lion, Charles Rango. And let me tell you, I don't know who worked harder for us. Adonis Rodriguez. We would sometimes just get to a station or a site and we would just look in each other's eyes and we would just smile and we'd think about the days when he took over City College and I would be a police officer and come support him. This man has just been an unbelievable, inspiring part of our campaign. And my brother Peter Cool, you know, from Queens. Justin Brennan, Councilman Francisco Moya, and my sister Diane Savino from Staten Island, Senator Jamal Bailey, and where is she? I heard her earlier, Jennifer Ross Kamal. Jennifer used to be at events and other mayoral candidates would be there in her community and she'll say, I don't know why y'all here. This is Eric Adams town. You know, and you can't forget who holds it down on the rock than my man James Sanders. First women county leader in Brooklyn. Never gave it in. My niece, and so I'm so proud of this entire team. And you know what? I know you probably had to break on the news and I'm taking up all your time, but y'all can switch to something else because I'm staying here and I'm talking to these folks. These folks have been here. And you have to just really thank the diversity of my coalition. And with all my heart, I just want to thank you, Winnie. Wow! Boy, she worked so hard.
It's for any other.
And my campaign team, I just want to acknowledge them. And you know, some of you I didn't get, but I'm going to get all of you. And thank you all personally. But I just wanted to highlight my amazing campaign team of, you know, my sister. She's been with me for almost 40 years. You know, when I was a rookie cop, her husband and I came out of the police academy together. And he gave me a picture of his son that I used to put in my hat going on patrol, Little Glenn, now Big Glenn. And when I decided to run for office as a state senator, I went to her and stated that the only way I would run is if you manage my campaign. And she said, that's not what I do. And I said, well, then I'm not running. And she finally came back and said, Eric, I'll do it for you. And she has been by my side for over 30-something years. And I built a team of people. The criteria to be on my team is that you could not be afraid of me. If you were not willing to criticize me, if you were not willing to be honest with me, if you were not willing to painfully take me to where I needed to go, because I did not want to be good, I wanted to be great. And I put together this little ragtag group of people that everyone said that, you know, well, he can't do it. He will never be able to make it happen. Well, you know what?
Never had no real campaign.
Right. Brought together a great campaign manager, my girl Katie. Thank you, Katie. Pragya, I know Pragya is around somewhere. I told Pragya her first week, I said, you better understand something. If I were you, I would quit today because you don't want to work for me. And she stuck it through. And my sister, my Borough Hall team who held down Borough Hall, because unlike the other candidates, I had 2 jobs. You know, and I just have to thank my girl Gladys. And a young intern who came on board. We raised so many young people in Borough Hall that are going to be future leaders of the amazing job that Brianna did on this job. Hercules Reed. Denise. Ryan, who's my chief of staff, held it together while we had to do so much. Stephen Ringo, who was just my alter ego. Alma Jamal, my legal counsel. And when Mom died, Miss Faye came into my office and she knocked on the door and she says, I'm your mother now, Eric, and I'm going to be here for you. And I thank her so much. And Karen and so many. And then the team of campaign team of Nathan Smith. Oh, I sat down with him 4 years ago when people wanted me to run for public advocate. And they said, Eric, they'll never be able to put it together to run for mayor. And I said, Nathan, I don't know what they're talking about, but I can be the mayor of the city of New York. And Nathan said, if you believe in your heart, Eric, I'm with you all the way. And he has not left my side for 15 years. Nathan, I love you, brother, and thank you. And Evan Thieves. Anyone that's a communication director would know you don't want Eric Adams as a client. And Evan would say over and over again, he probably has gray hairs right now, you know, because Evan is just, that team of people, the core team, we stood up nights and just believed in each other and we were able to bring it together. And just so many others. Joe, my brother, who watched his babies being born and growing into young people. And Moise Indig, who really did an amazing job of bringing everyone together. And Eddie Caban, who just was another great person for us. Just so many. I can't mention all of you, but I do want you to know that I appreciate all of you. And we go, I can't forget, where is Tiffany Raspberry? Where's Tiffany? Dr. Stanley Women. Where's Tiffany? Where's Tiffany? Yes. Tiffany, you know, there's just so many stories to this journey. We were at a moment in the beginning of the campaign when people were trying to move people to the more popular candidates. And Tiffany said, I don't know what you are going to do, but we're staying with Eric Adams. And she has been amazing. I cannot thank you enough, you know, for being here and doing what you're doing. This amazing movement, Pasmo, women, all of you, Asan, another amazing leader. Listen, there's a lot of you. Trust me. We all know who we are. There's more missions to it, and I think I see him somewhere in the crowd, Chief Madry, an unbelievable leader in our city. The untold story of how he kept the city safe during some very difficult times. You know, real heroes that we have. And so, my friend Frank Carone, the twins, so many more. And I know I see him in the crowd. I'm seeing some faces. My counsel, love you, Andrew. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Alvaro, all the people that came together to make this happen. Terry Banks, the Banks family. The Banks family. You know, David Gold, Tommy, Elias, Elias is here. All of you who have come together. Mike Niebs, Unbelievable Brain Trust. So, Shane Go, Dr. Blake, good Lord. Adam Powell, Mondell. You know, so many names. You know, I know I'm going to get in some trouble. You know, Pastor Cockfield used to tell people, you're not with Eric Adams, don't call me. So here we are in New York.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
So in our parting words, you know, this moment is surreal. It's a surreal moment. And I'm going to promise you, in 1 year, you're going to see a different city. Yeah. 1 year. We're going to bring businesses here. We're going to become the center of life science, the center of cybersecurity, the center of self-driving cars, drones, the center of bitcoins. We're going to be the center of all the technology. Miami, you had your run. We're bringing our businesses back to you. We're going to educate our children. We're not going to have a school system where 65% of black and brown children don't meet proficiency every year. We're going to have safe streets. We're going to educate our young people. The best public safety plan is a job. We're going to ensure that we build out an employment so our young people can be employed and move into middle class. We're going to have affordable housing. We're going to remove the indecency of living on the streets and living in our subway systems. We're going to turn this city around. Trust me when I tell you, all I want for you to do, New Yorkers, is just believe again. Don't let anyone take away your power of belief. I am doing to you what my mother did to me. She inspired belief when she put my finger on the name of Percy Sutton. I am now putting your fingers on my heart and telling you I'm going to be your mayor, and I want you to believe again. Let's bring our city back.